today's video, we're going to have a follow-up relationship advice Q&A with Lexi and Kris, your favorite guest. Oh, I'm just kidding. So for today we have our special guest, Lexi Pooh, you know, the camera person, and her hubby, Kris. You guys, I think I mentioned in the last video vaguely that they got married, you guys, but I'm not going to go in details. I'll let them go in detail and let them give you guys a little bit of insight on what it's like to have a really short engagement. So I'll let Kris and Lexi give you guys a little bit of idea of why they decided to marry in the time frame they did and things like that. So, boom, let them have the floor.
You want to start?
Sure. Well, I first want to just kind of give the quick update on what it's like. I've been dragging this ball and chain around for 2 weeks now. So what it's like to be married, it's good.
Wait till we stop filming, then we get the truth.
It's all good. No, it's really great. And, you know, I've never been married, so it's new to me. And I'm thinking, man, married life is a good life. I know why I didn't get married before, because I hadn't met Lexi yet. You know, so I'm just saying.
You guys know that was good.
That's how I redeemed my first comment.
Smart answer. Good job, Kris.
No, but really, it's yeah, it's because I've lived my whole life unmarried, and now I'm waking up in the morning, like, because it's still fairly new, 2 weeks in, and I'm waking up in the morning because we did not move in together prior to being married, and now we're living together, and it's just kind of like, okay, let's do this. This is life. This is together. This is married life, and I'm just like, wow, this is good. You know, like, it's just.
And their date, you guys' marriage date was the 20th?
October 20th.
October 20th. So,
yeah,
mark your calendars.
Talk to us in 2 years from now.
This was the date.
So we were engaged for like almost, not quite a month.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the exact time.
I don't do long engagements either, you guys. I just don't.
We didn't see the need to necessarily drag it out with a long engagement before we got married. And then too, like, so we weren't living together or anything, so that would have been extra time of us still living separate, even though we were engaged.
Let me just say this just for a second. Like a disclaimer, this is strictly what worked for Lexi and Kris, you guys. I don't want anybody, you know, feeling any way about anything because they believe in long-term engagements. I personally don't as well. No matter how things turn out, I believe in going ahead. Once you're serious about someone, get serious about what you're doing. That's how I believe too. I've done it myself. But I just wanted to make sure I reiterate that it's just, this is what works for them. This is their preference. They're two adults. So everybody do exactly what works best for you and your significant other. Yeah. So let them keep going with that. Disclaimer.
Yeah, that's good to say.
Yeah, it definitely works well for us, and you know, my theory on all this stuff, because it kind of comes down to like the subject of love, and the way that I define love might be different than the way you do, or that our culture does, or whomever. Yeah. But I really think that love is more than just a feeling.
That's right.
Because we definitely felt that feeling, but beyond that, it's a choice that's backed up by action.
I can tell you guys felt it.
Yeah.
I can tell.
And we talked about it, and it was kind of like, it was an emphatic, unanimous decision from both of us on like, yeah, let's get married fast.
Yeah, let's
let's do it. Like, I'm like, we can go tomorrow.
That's cool.
He said that in the car.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, he said, let's just go tomorrow. He said, we can go tomorrow. I don't care. So.
And Kris was thinking earlier, and he just waited. Like when you guys witnessed that cool engagement, Kris was thinking early on, and he waited a little bit.
Before that, Kris and I went to Costa Rica in August, like at the beginning of August. Yeah, like the first week of August, we went to Costa Rica, and he said that's when he had considered it. and I like that I like how it played out with the dynamic and mom being here and stuff like that.
I would have proposed there. Like when I was there, I was ready to. I had the ring and everything. I was like, no.
I don't say you held that by yourself. I mean, you held that. I would have had to tell somebody.
I had to make a choice on the spot on the vacation, and just because I knew that we hadn't, we met in January and we hadn't known each other that long and dated seriously for that long. But back to the other thing about love being more than a feeling, being a choice. Yeah, and being able to open up your heart to somebody and really experience them and be able to make that choice, in an educated way. But so I'm there, and I'm like, man, I feel like this would be like awesome. But I didn't want it to put any kind of like a pressure on the vacation or make her feel like that vacation was specifically just for that, So I was like, it's not the time. But I knew
that's something to consider, you guys. Just because sometimes people feel it, he took into consideration it could have changed the dynamics of your vacation. Had she decided I may want to wait or whatever, or not, or whatever the case may be,
or being pressured. They're like, we went on this trip together, so now I better say yes. And you know what? That's
really something to think about too, just for a second, because that was like one of those situations where you're in this beautiful romantic place, right? And that sort of amps you up. Like when people go to weddings, when you attend weddings, people tend to leave with that feeling of, I want to be married. I'm just saying, for people. So that's...
I don't think I would have...
I'm just saying, but he don't know that you wouldn't. And because I know a lot of times guys like to totally surprise the ladies, whatever, but those really romantic type of places, it sort of does make you sort of in the mood, you know what I'm saying? I'm guessing.
I really do like how our vacation played out just the way it was.
Just a vacation, not the pressure of what you're gonna do when you get back. That's something to think about.
Everybody kept referring to her as my wife too. They're like, you and your wife come in and do this.
And I know the baby's thinking, man, I could have asked her.
And I'm like, she's not my wife. And then this guy's like, you guys are gonna get married.
Yeah. And he said we could get married on the boat. It was the boat, right?
He was trying to take us on.
That's nice.
And then he goes, come back and bring her sister. Bring her sister. Like, all right, dude.
Her sisters in a great marriage. And they would have been married sooner. Monica and Mark. Hi, you guys. They also said she felt like they would have been married sooner, but they waited on something with military timing. And they came out.
Training and whatnot.
Yeah, they came out from Hawaii to get married here in California. That was what this. So anyway, that's a good thing to think about, because I'm telling you, once you're in that really sort of mood of the island and all of the beautiful things, I don't know, it would have.
It was so pretty out there, but it was a really great vacation. I think we had a really great time together. That was our first time spending that much time together too, just us by ourselves and not having to like, I'll see you on this day or I'll see you on that day. Just the whole week we spent together.
And I've never done that. I've always had a kid around.
Yes,
always. I've never done solo, which is not a good thing. Just for the record, we're going into that later. Oh gosh, we gotta handle that. It's not a good thing. I've never really just.
You haven't had just. On your honeymoon, we were there.
They were there on my honeymoon.
We were throwing paper balls at you.
I know. Do not take kids on your honeymoon, or keep them on your honeymoon. I don't know which works best. But you guys, I'm sorry to interrupt you guys, but that's a good thing that he was able to consider your feelings. That he didn't want you to feel pressured if you would have. But
that's true. I don't think I would have, but Kris does tend to think outside of the box, so to speak, and he does tend to really analyze stuff before he just does it.
In front of the camera.
Yeah, wait till we're off.
No, I'm just kidding. I am so joking.
But no, that is really how he is. I think Kris is very considerate. How I might feel about something, and so you do a good job with that.
For the record, this is being recorded, so it's... I never say otherwise now. You guys.
You first heard it here. So you guys decided that was a good time. Both of you knew that you wanted to be married, and you did not want to wait really long.
Yeah.
And I know
we got to marry sooner. It's just other things with our schedule, and then Chris's mom hurt her back, and just different things. So it was just waiting for the right time. But we would have gotten married a little bit sooner than that. Is what were.
Like a week
Yeah,
sooner.
like a week sooner.
And I know people are going to think pretty much like things like when you feel like we talked about feeling love. Don't you guys both know by now in your lives, you've dated people in your lives, you know, don't you know you knew that felt like something different than it felt with another person, correct?
Yeah, I agree.
I'm just guessing it had to.
It did just feel different. It is funny to think, like, you know, we met in January. Of course, I don't know.
You know what it is?
It's not like I'm like, you know, by a few months, well, I'll be married to this guy. I didn't think that, but I liked Kris right from the start.
But didn't it feel better to take timing out of your mindset and allow yourself to just go in with both feet?
Absolutely.
And don't worry about the timing. Didn't that take the pressure off?
A lot of pressure off, and it just kind of freed me up mentally to not worry about a certain time frame for anything that we were doing.
That's something to consider, you guys.
And it's not something I consciously thought about, but I think in past relationships I was more focused on some type of
because
timeline.
we think about the pattern or the steps that society pretty much dictates to us, correct?
Exactly.
I think what you guys did was an amazing thing because they're going to have a bigger celebration later, you guys. They're just where the more family and things like that could be a part of this. They decided to get their license and do the certain.
Go ahead and do all that. That takes a process anyway. I gotta go.
But you know what? I was going to say, I'm so glad if you guys. This is something I have to really say too. If you're planning on marrying, I would suggest trying to get your license and things and schedule a little bit further away from your wedding date. In my opinion only, because I promise you, I believe that's a lot of the pressure. Imagine if you don't have your license yet, because as you get married in the U.S., everywhere that I know of, you have to have a marriage license. That person that's officiating that comes after the license, correct? I still think they do all of that on hand.
I know, yeah.
But that's not true, and I'm sure you guys know that.
So next week I have to go back and we get our copy of our license, and then I have to go to like the DMV and all that type of stuff.
But imagine doing that on your wedding day week. Imagine if you can't tell me that's not pressure.
And then you have to take that. You have to file it wherever you got it from. So if you get married somewhere else, you got to go back to that original courthouse.
Exactly.
And so it makes it a little bit easier.
I think it's a smart
move. It does make more sense because really, like when we do have everybody invited, and by the way, all the subscribers to her channel are invited to the celebration. You guys better be subscribed.
All 2 of you.
But when we do have the celebration, we're celebrating like you said from a place of freedom where we've already jumped through the hoops and like we're there.
It takes the weight off. Imagine having a wedding day planned and something happens, you don't make it to the courthouse or whatever you go, wherever it is to get your license. Imagine. Come on.
One of my
wow.
friends, they went and got their license like a month before they got married.
I think it's smart. You have to have it.
But they got
you have to have it. I don't care who's standing up there saying, you know, performing this ceremony. You have to have your license.
You have like 90 days or something.
I think it's smarter to do it that way, in my opinion. If it can work out like that for people, I think it takes a lot of the pressure off. And then you just have the fun of planning your party and the gathering of the family, right?
That's going to be fun.
Get people out of your ear and do what works best.
Yeah, that's basically what we did. We just talked and we went with what worked for us.
And they did have opinions, you guys, and they're going to get into that as well. There were opinions coming from every direction, places they didn't expect it to come from. That happens. And so
yeah, definitely.
Before we even go to that part of the subject, I would like to address the thought that I had that maybe you guys are having too. Is how can we, like, how does one have successful, fast engagement on a relationship that maybe hasn't been going for years and years? It may be considered a short relationship. I don't consider it a short relationship, but let's say short relationship, fast engagement. How can you be successful at that? What are the steps, necessary ingredients for that? Because there are a lot of people that do it that way and they stay together. So I would say the number one thing is communication. You have to be communicating with each other. You have to be open to, like we talked about in some of the last videos, opening yourself up, letting people know who you are, letting them know about your past, letting them know your worldview, what your spirituality is.
That's why it feels like it's longer, because you've given so much.
We communicate
with each other.
We've talked a lot from the very beginning.
There's no walls up. if you have walls up, you can be with someone for 5 years and you still like, dude, this wall is not.
It doesn't work if you don't communicate.
Just button your head
That's
against
right.
it.
Yeah.
I don't care how long you're with someone. If there's no communication, it will not work.
It's true.
You have two people that are completely transparent and that they're emotionally intimate with each other, and they're saying, look, like this is who I am. This is what I'm going through. This is what I, believe. This is what I would like to see in the future with my husband or wife, etc., and my family, kids. You have all those conversations. Make sure you're on the right page. And you may already feel a certain way about that someone, but then once you have that information, you can feel really good about making that choice to love them forever. It's a choice. It's a 100% choice.
Absolutely.
And that is like where I would say the success lies in any relationship, especially a quick engagement like we have, because we both feel the exact same way.
If you're going to give everything to one another, I would rather give it to someone that I believe is investing long term with me.
Exactly.
That's a long-term commitment. That's not, and I know people discredit sometimes licenses and things, to each its own. I still know for a fact that there is a difference in full out committing to anything. No one lets you drive a car off a dealership without a contract.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah.
Period, point blank. Why? You could change your mind.
Exactly.
And the thing is already depreciated or whatever. But just say, my point is, it's no longer the same once you...
Yeah, exactly.
So, with the relationship, to me, the same thing. If you're full in there is nothing wrong with the license. That's just validating to everything and yourself and everyone else. I'm in, full in. I'm full out in this. Commit to me, right?
Exactly. I agree.
I know people think that you can live together or whatever, and I know people do their own and it works for them or however it works for them. I just know if you know you can leave, in the back of your mind somewhere, I believe that things are not going to be perfect all the time in any relationship, correct? As you got that, I call that bag packed syndrome, where you won't fully commit. There is a difference. No, like the difference in renting and owning a home. So I'm telling you, to me,
asked if we were going to just live together first and like do a trial run and see how that works for us, and we're like, no, let's just get married and then.
But then the way you two are with your spirituality too, you wanted to go in a little bit more, where it's something you can feel a little bit more
first, officially. Yeah, you were
proud about and things. So I'm glad you guys did it. I commend it 100% because all the work that you're going to have to put into a relationship, why not put it into a person full out committed to you?
That too. All the work and the time.
Takes away a lot of the fear of would they leave or can they leave or should they leave. It's different when you're full in, for both people, correct?
Yeah.
I'm happy you guys did it.
I'm glad we did too. And it's still the same. I mean, we do the same things for the most part. We still.
Isn't it like this is where you grow through your relationship? I look at it almost like, I know it's a different type of love expression, but I think about bringing a baby into a family, whatever. You don't wait till the baby's 18 to start really loving it. You don't wait 18 years to say, you know what, I'm going to commit to this motherhood. I'll wait till the baby's, let me try the baby out to see if I want to keep the baby. I'm just being honest. I know people may say, well, that's a different type of love. Love is love. L-O-V-E, I don't care how you spell it, it's love. You express it differently with different people. In different situations, different scenarios. But love is love. And that's why I say if you commit it, just commit full out and show them and show yourself and be a part to do things to me the full out correct way. And you just put all those eggs in the basket, then you got lesser to lose. Because this person's full out with you, full in with you.
Exactly.
To me, in my opinion, I think it's
It is an extra sense of security, and it's nice knowing.
Because it was free will. You weren't drafted into a marriage.
Exactly,
you know? Well, sort of, because Lexi kind of manipulated her. I'm just saying she did a little bit. But no, I'm still joking. But
it is nice knowing that I have Kris, and he's my partner in everything that I do. It is nice. And I mean, it's not that I didn't feel like that before, but it is different now that we're married.
Yeah.
It's 100%. It's 100% like fulfilled now.
Yeah,
now it's
exactly.
Like, it's mine, it's yours.
It's not a waste of what you're doing. You can feel the appreciation of what you're doing. He showed how much he appreciated you, and you to him by accepting. That's a lot. I would not want to work on a relationship with someone, I promise you, and they just walk away.
Yeah, so.
I'm like, oh no, you did. Oh, sorry, another video. Oh no, you.
But,
not without going through the marriage, whatever,
I
you know.
not felt in the time that we were dating, our engagement, our marriage, that Kris hasn't been putting in work and effort into our relationship. It's not like it feels like work.
And to him,
exactly.
Yeah.
I enjoy spending time with him. I enjoy doing things for Kris, and I enjoy talking to Kris about stuff and everything like that. So it doesn't feel like work, but that's what we're doing. We're putting work
Because you're also building a friendship.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, Kris is my best friend.
You too, absolutely. That says a lot. That truly does. But it's nurturing constantly, huh?
Exactly.
You do it. You keep giving of yourself and trusting one another, communicating with one another. That's what it's all about. That's it.
Yeah.
It's an easy ingredient, pretty much. It's just not being closed off in your own with your secrets or your whatever. That's a person that's ready for any relationship.
Yes, ma'am.
And the man should really be the one that's leading that in the field of inconveniencing himself for his girlfriend, fiance, wife, to display that love that's a verb, that's an action.
That's right.
And he should lead that. It goes both ways, but the man definitely should be the one to lead that. And if you're with someone who's not willing to do that, you may want to really reconsider that person.
Or have that conversation to see where you two are going, because it's, I don't call that a relationship. Well, there are all type of relationships. That's not a commitment. That's strictly, like, no different. Like, you have different type of friends. You have those best friends, right? And you have those acquaintances. You have those.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, and
like, for example, she lived here at home in Marietta. My home was in Oceanside, so it was a 45-minute drive at least. Usually about an hour, because I'd be coming out, shortly.
And with college traffic,
there'd be a little bit of traffic coming out in the evening. It wasn't bad. It never bothered me.
He never once complained, for the record. Kris never said anything about having to drive.
And I never asked her to say, hey, why don't you drive out to my house this time so that we can... And it wouldn't be wrong if I did say that, but I definitely should have borne the burden of coming out, bearing that trip, paying that gas bill, putting miles on my car, like carrying that burden to be the gentleman and keep that kind of traditional sense alive. And I'm not tooting my own horn, it may sound like that, but I'm just trying to set that standard, because that's the type of dynamic that's going to be successful in a relationship. The guy has to be willing to lead in that department, and the woman should be looking for that.
That's right.
Don't let him hide behind excuses. I am a busy man. I can hide behind a lot of excuses. I can't make it out. I can't make it out. If you want to see me, you're going to have to just come.
And he never did. Kris
is busy, you guys. I mean, I'm just saying, just for the record, he running his businesses. This guy is a busy guy. But I'm like that. I'm like that type of a girl, that lady rather, that you're going to show some effort. I'm sorry. I am, if they call it old school, they call it what you want. It's just that a woman, to me, I swear I'm trying not to preach this, but I know my worth. Lexi knows her worth. And Kris knew her worth as well as his own. He knows being a gentleman that's a win-win either way. He's a nice guy doing something nice for a person you care about. How is that anything less than a win-win?
Going home and we're both tired, and I'll offer to drive. Kris will still drive. I know he's tired. He'll let me sleep in the car, and he stays up and he drives. And I'm not the easiest person to wake up either, but
that's why, really. Wake up, Panda.
I might be tired, but I want to get to the destination actually too. Okay.
He wasn't being polite. He was just being safe.
She sits next to me with a water bottle, and she puts water on her hand, and then she sprinkles it on my neck. I'm tired. Oh, that feels kind of good. I don't know if it's helping me stay awake.
That is so funny. I remember trying to put water on my face. I used to drive a long distance.
Roll his window down, because I know stuff that you've told me too that you've done.
I used to put water on my face and try to let the window down.
Yeah, so I told him
but I ran out of water one time, you guys. I was so.
She started looking
I
at
was licking. I was trying, something wet and then the air it makes it cool. Wasn't working. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm running out of water. I'm like, whoop. Sorry.
So I remember stuff you've said that you've done when you're tired. So I tell him, Rose, when I'm down, we always have water in the car. We always do. So
I keep heaters down. I keep the car cool.
So I'm like, don't make the car too warm.
I keep it cool.
He keeps it warm for me.
Oh gosh.
And so
you guys don't travel with a Panda Ethel.
It's always cold.
Yes, but you guys are really, I think you guys are really considerate of each other, and it's refreshing. Also, I have your sister. I promise you guys. I always say that. Talk about Monica a lot with you guys. Monica and Mara has an amazing marriage, meaning they have a great communication going there.
And I asked
amazing.
Monica gave me advice before we got married, like the week before.
And she was married. My daughter was, your sister was married like how many years? She was a few years under me, like 15.
They've been married, I believe, like 13 years.
14, 15, had to be more. Something that range.
I'm 24. I was like 11.
Monica, sorry, I can't remember exactly.
I was like 11 when they got married, and I'm 24 now.
But anyway, they got a really good marriage, and
maybe it's been like 14 now or something, but
yeah, somewhere that's range.
Somewhere around that.
Amazing. Anyway, that's what their situation is looking like. You guys
got
being
2
good
weeks
friends.
down, Monica.
2 weeks in, full out. It's like, wow, that's amazing. But you guys, now you want to a little bit address, like go into some of the sort of like the resistance of people close to you.
Earlier, we got either people that were totally for it or people that were totally not
but
for
opinions,
it.
You guys.
Exactly, there were opinions. But it's just, it was funny, there was no like medium of an opinion. It was just either yes or no. That was it. There was no middle ground for it.
It was extreme. Like people were like doing backflips and high-fiving us, or people were like, "Let me tell you how to live your life."
Yeah.
And people that don't have it worked out, just for the record.
We also noticed that it was the people that we did not necessarily ask for advice from. The people, even on my end, that I don't think had very great relationships. They were the ones that were giving me the advice of
don't ask advice.
Don't get married right now. Do this, do that, and so.
You need to please reiterate that to Lexi. Don't go to people for
their
advice.
Their advice wasn't very credible to me.
Because if theirs is not working,
relationship, or they're single, so I don't feel like you can really give me solid advice for how
I've been through marriage, divorce, and things like that. But I am a person that if a person comes to me for advice or whatever, if I solicit my advice, it's one thing. I'm a mom too, you know.
But for the record, I didn't ask any of those people their advice.
I am like this across the board, even in a happy marriage or not. I am one of these type of people. I never, ever, ever tell people what to do with their lives. Pretty much, especially when it comes to relationships. I don't. You know what you want. You know what you need. You know what you desire. You know, you don't need someone to tell you.
No.
And my thing is, ask yourself what it is that you really want. Are you getting your needs met? Are you giving something to someone else and their needs are being met?
Exactly.
I don't ever solicit that. And what worked for me or didn't work for me still doesn't mean it will work for the next person.
And that's how we felt about it with the advice that we were being given. Is that's you.
I just say be honest with yourself. Be honest with the person. Just communicate. Be upfront about what your desires are, what your needs are, and that's it. That's it. Pretty much it. And you figure it out yourself because you're doing it. It's going to be your decision at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Period.
I think that even the people who were like stepping out of their boundary really and trying to like tell us how we should live. I mean, it's okay. You know, I think you guys should wait a little more. Go fine. But these are people who like were emphatic about it and even repeated that. Blah blah blah. And I think that comes from
their own insecurities.
It does. Yeah, their own insecurities and their own false definition of love.
That's right.
Because their definition of love requires like a certain amount of time in order for them to actually
wait till we have enough money. Wait till we do this. Wait till I'm bigger in my job career.
Yeah, because certainly if they believed that we for sure were in love and ready to commit to each other, then they would have supported it. They're our friends, some of these people, and yet they said, some of them were like, no, you know. So that's why I challenge them on their definition of love. It's not just this feeling that you're waiting for after you've been with someone for 4 or 5 years or 2 years or whatever, 1 year, whatever that time limit is that you might attach to that. But it's more than that, and it's something that can happen. It's not limited to time, and it's something that requires you making a choice. And
making a mature decision.
It's the one thing that all the people had in common that were not for it was, I don't feel like they, from their experience, ever really opened up that choice in their love relationships they had. I think it was something where they
did not.
It was defined more of like a feeling and whatever, whatever
kind of
subjective
selfishness
reasons that. There's other
they
purposes people have for being in relationships. You know, it could be financial. It could be we just have so much fun. I love them because we have so much fun. It's love, you know, or whatever. However they define that, but I don't know if it was ever a choice where they would say, I would seriously like step in front of a moving vehicle and push her out of the way. You know, because you don't need to know somebody for 10 years to do that.
That's my point. And just for the record, I'm sort of like that with strangers. I don't say go around saying I've fallen in love with everybody, but it's a natural part of my composer, my being, to be considerate pretty much of another person, especially someone I care about.
Yeah.
If you already care about somebody, but I don't have a problem with helping a stranger to a degree, trying to prevent them from being hurt. How could you not feel that way about the person that you're close with, I don't care if it's a friendship, how could you not feel that way?
I've been in relationships in the past where time had gone by, over a year, and the person I was with did not feel comfortable with saying I love you. Yeah. And I think if you're with somebody for a year, you're monogamous to that person for a year, and they're still not willing to say I love you or be comfortable with that, hit the road. Yeah. You're wasting your time. That person has some serious baggage, unless they're willing to work through it. If they're willing to seriously work through that and open up those dark areas that they're holding on to, then yeah, give it a shot. But otherwise, hit the road, because that's a lost cause.
Yeah.
I hate to sound dark, but that's...
But people are, like the saying goes, people we meet, and it depends on the season of what we're in. Everybody we meet is not designed to be long-term with us.
Yes.
Right? We have journeys that we take.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like what they did, you have to recognize your journey, what feels right for you on the journey that you're on the path that you're on. You have to decide what feels right. That's why they put all of these people out of their heads, pretty much.
Yeah, regardless, we knew we were still going to do what we felt like was best for us. And it wasn't going to be somebody else's opinion, good or bad. It was still going to our time frame, what we wanted, how we wanted it, and that was just what we were going to do. That's between us. That's our relationship.
Absolutely. And that's what you should do. You should make a decision for yourself. We got all of these people in our ears, especially people planning.
You can get a lot of different opinions.
Especially, like I said, people coming up on planning their weddings. Oh my gosh, I can't imagine all this stress. And I've heard everybody got an opinion. Do this, wear this, go here, taste this, do this. Oh my gosh. It's just too much.
So it was very stress-free.
And that's what it's about. Doing it, that's the route you guys went to me. It just seems I had to alleviate a lot of stress.
The only thing we had to do was just tell you and tell his mom the day and the time.
That was stressed out at all.
They were so calm. They were really calm and everything, you guys. I was like,
I thought it would be. I didn't have one cold foot, I didn't feel any anxiety.
I was thinking, oh my gosh.
I wasn't, so one of my friends asked me, she's like, oh my gosh, you must be like super
Everybody kept asking Lexi, are you nervous? And remember, we got there, Lexi and I drove out to the place, and we got there before Kris. I was in that car thinking, Lord. Lord, Kris. Somebody's got to marry me. Lexi, somebody got to marry today. No, I really, honestly, with all jokes aside, honest to God, I really knew in my heart of hearts that Kris was serious about this, was going to show up and do what he needs to do. I just knew. I knew. And I know you weren't. Lex was all cool. We were in a car of different vehicles. We were cracking jokes and laughing and everything. We had it was a really good day. It was a really good day. You guys you were really calm. I think you guys, I don't know what you were feeling, but it's like you guys are good friends. Like, how can I say? It's like when I feel it, like I keep saying about Monica and Mark, it's like I'm looking at two people that act like they're best friends. It's like you two are so comfortable with one another, in my opinion.
I'm so used to Kris, and it was funny that the night before we were talking about our vows, and we were trying to, how much did you write? So we can have the same, length pretty much, and because I wrote a little bit, and I talked to him, well, how much did you write? He said, I wrote a page. And my page was the size of your book, so pages are different sizes.
Everything Lexi writes, she does. Her apologies and everything. See how thick this is? When Alexia's going to apologize for something, she feels like she owes an apology for something, you're going to get this. You're going to just I'm like, wait a minute, what did she do? Let me go. Lexi's she is
how I feel comfortable.
It's so sweet. Oh my gosh, you guys, it was just, I think I still like, it was more or less, you know how there's like, it's like that shock factor that just happened. Like I still have to get used to you saying husband. Oh my God, every time you say it, in my brain it pauses. I'm like, oh, that's our husband. My Lexi Poo got
Same with me. Like when I introduce her and stuff, people come into work and say,
"Say your wife."
This is my wife, Alexis. Yeah.
I know. What does that feel like? See, I haven't heard the wife part of it.
You know what's funny too? Because at the dojo, not everybody knew that we were even in a relationship. So I'm talking to people, and I was saying something. One of the girls was asking me, "Was I like moving to Vista or whatever?" I'm like, well, yeah, I'm like, I live with Kris. She's like, you live with Kris? Well, he's my husband. Wait, what? And it's just like,
husband. It just sounds so funny. I think it's because, too, my marriage, marriages, I've never walked around just saying husband. I don't know, it just didn't happen. Because I think people already knew. I think it was one of those things. So I didn't have to say my husband.
Yes, ma'am.
So to hear it, it just... And I haven't heard it since my other daughter. Monica be like, oh, you know, Mara, or she says Mara.
She's just Mara.
And then it's like, and it's so cute. So I don't hear the words husband very much. And things like that. And definitely not hearing wife or something. It's just...
It is funny.
It's just so... it's still just so new in my brain. Every time I hear it...
Well, it's funny, but it's still like when the kids call Monica mom. And it's still just like, that's my sister. And she's someone's mom, so it's the same thing. I know, it's still just new. It's so new to hear. I hear Kris. I hear Lexi. I haven't heard them. Every time she says husband, we didn't even say the word fiance very much. We weren't engaged for very long, so
fiance,
husband.
Yeah.
Fiance, wife.
I think
it lasted like 1 week.
Like once or something.
The word fiance just sounds weird.
It sounds girly. It sounds more for the feminine side of a relationship to me. I know
we have an American word for that. Why do we have to use a French word?
It is an American word for it. Boo.
Boo.
My boo.
My boo.
My boo. No, what is another? My babe. My boo.
Boo. The girls at work just call him my man.
My man, my boo, my babe, just something I've heard.
He's doing great.
Oh my gosh. You guys could tell they're enjoying their relationship because they decided in dating they were going to put everything into their relationship. That's why I think there's no resistance. You go out there, as we keep talking about these relationships for you guys, just trust. If you believe in yourself and the person that you're interested in, right? Just put everything that you can pretty much into you and that person working it out. I think most of us resist. And then when we start feeling like we need to give a little bit more, something happens. Yeah. And we pull back a little bit more. We already was holding back. Now we're pulling back. I believe a lot of us do that. And then so wonder why it just boom, it falls apart.
Exactly.
Because we were never 100 in. And then we use the excuse, well, they're this and that and other anyway.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, so I think I learned the opposite as well. If you put everything in the beginning, when you have those trials and tribulations, whatever, because you invested so much into it, and they started learning to trust that you're going to be there for them, doesn't it? I'm guessing the road has to be easier, has to be smoother. Then that person is resisting and need another excuse to step back even more.
I agree.
That's what I've been. Honestly, gosh, I've been that. I've been afraid to just fully put everything into it. I've been that way.
I'm ready to wrap up soon, but I will say that with Kris,
Did.
I'm the director and
she
the
don't
producer.
tell me. Wait a minute. You're here, Kris's wife. She gonna come up here and tell me what we gonna do. I'm not saying.
Right out of this. You guys go.
Poor Kris. Go watch his wife get a spanking by her mommy. Give me your hand, Lexi. Oh. Yeah, I'm just kidding. Go ahead and say what you're saying.
I was thinking about it today actually because Kris
went in time
Oh
out
my
today.
gosh.
No, she did. Oh.
I didn't do that.
Oh my God. See, Kris, sorry. Kris just, so both of you guys, I was going to talk about two chairs. Let me put two chairs.
And I felt that's what he was.
And Kris over here like looking like, he's like, exactly. Kris over here looking like, okay, now the exit is that way. Oh, it's nice seeing you guys. I gotta go.
So what I feel, Kris feels.
Kris like, I gotta go home and feed my animals or something. My dogs got to go. See you guys later. That's so funny. Like so good. But no, I'm just joking. You guys know, not completely, but I am. I'm so joking. But you can finish your train of thought.
I lost my train of thought.
I made her lose her train of thought. You were talking about your time frame and things like putting everything in.
Oh, I've always been able, I feel like, to put just everything in our relationship.
I was going to say this one. I thought you were just talking about it in general. I'm like, I've watched you hold it. I've watched the wall. I saw it. I'm like, Lexi, there's a brick wall in front of you. And I see it.
Mom used to tell me to like, Lexi, maybe you should do this or.
I can tell when people are resisting. I can tell when you're not putting everything in. I know what it looks like.
I've gotten a few conversations or discussions, lectures, whatever, of Lexi, you can't have a relationship where you're not all in.
And now we're saying that
because Mom would always mention and bring up, like, you don't want someone doing that to you.
Exactly.
And that's very true. Did I change it? No. But
it happened with Kris. I'm glad that was your first time giving that so much of yourself. I'm glad it was with the person that protected your heart. I'm beyond happy that it was this way. But yeah, I can recognize it because I've done it. And just for the record, you guys, like I said, if you're holding back, that other person, you may feel like they don't see it or feel it, whatever. They sort of do. We just do. We bounce off of each other's energy as people, as in general. So people know it. And when you're resisting a little bit or you got the wall up, if you have a wall up, Gwendolyn's opinion, step back a little bit from what you're in, reassess yourself and them. Because if you can't be a complete whole person, trying to go into a relationship to unite as one, you're not giving enough until that becoming a united one, right? If that other person's carrying all the load of giving everything, what really are you doing? And it may be that you're just not ready for whatever that is. In a serious relationship, we still are just talking about. True. It could just be that you're not ready, and that is okay. That is very okay. But be okay with saying, hey, I'm resisting, I'm not trusting, or whatever, because people hide behind, well, I don't really trust the person that much, or I'm learning to trust, and this and that and other. Whatever all these excuses are, in my opinion, step back, reassess what you're doing, because that just may not be your forever that you're with.
That's true.
And be genuine with yourself first, and then with the other person.
That it's not.
This type of situation to me will help relationships stay together longer. We need to stop trying to do what looks good, what society thinks we should, people's opinions on who and what we decide to, who we choose, right, to be with in this time, in this journey of each one of us that we have. Just do what feels right, but be a whole person. Give them your heart. Give them your heart. If you can't, you're not with the person that you need to be with at that time. That should may not be your season. That's just my opinion.
I agree.
So, boom. I had to come back because she told me we weren't going to do it, so I just started talking. It's just like, I'll talk about anything. Y'all want to talk about this cup? Let me talk about this cup. No, I'm just joking. I swear I can't let it go. I don't like messing with Lexi. You can finish your thoughts. Lexi, she's scared now. She don't shake. Kris scared to talk. I don't know what to say.
No, I'll finish up. Yeah, I was just thinking when you were saying that, I was thinking about how like we overcomplicate the whole relationship dynamic, especially leading up to marriage. We feel like, oh, it's going to lead up to marriage and this is going to be something, a whole new thing. Love is simple. Keep it simple. Keep it young and youthful, like you first felt when you first had that crush. Those are feelings that we want to come back to, because we get away from those when we've been hurt and we get callous and our heart gets hard. And now we carry that stuff into the next one, and then that person senses it and they hold back. So now we got two people holding back. Well, if you can break those walls down and soften that heart up and just be you and let them be them. And if you got two people doing that, it can happen fast.
That's right.
It can be a beautiful thing that lasts forever. But we have to be willing to be honest with ourselves, go ahead and do that introspective work into your own heart and look at what's going on, what are my hang-ups, where have I been wounded in the past, etc., and how can I get past that?
Let it go.
Yeah, let it go and be brave and step out there again and give that person that youthful, childlike love that you once felt and just go for it.
That's right.
So that's what I gotta say. That's my advice. That's what I was thinking of when you were preaching on that. It's great.
Preach.
Great point.
Good job. That's true. And take the risk.
Yeah.
The most successful people in the world are successful because they took a risk. Life is about challenges and taking risks and things. And of course, like I said, and you're investing a time or relationship with a person that you feel like is going to be long term with you.
Exactly.
If that's what you're looking for long term.
Yeah.
And things like that. And it just go for it. Just show them that you're full out willing to cross this journey with them, to cross this bridge with them, correct? That's what I feel about it.
Yeah, that's how you have to do it. It's worked for us to just go ahead
Because
and
all this
see
growth is in a marriage.
it.
You're not just waiting to grow later. What is that about? You
And
know,
it's nice
I always have looked at that.
It's
What
nice
is
to grow
that
with
about?
someone.
That's right. Boom. Good note. So I'm going to say we're going to get right to you on that note because we don't listen to her. We listen to me. But you guys got any other anything you want to say? You want to say for another video? Because they're going to come back, you guys. I know you have a lot of things you probably want to maybe ask or questions you may have on your mind.
Yeah, we can, whatever else, just put in the next video.
I want to share so many more things with them. I want them with you guys because it's funny having it here.
I would love to hear, I don't know how active your viewers are and stuff, but I would love to hear what they have to say. What questions do you guys have for us? Or what can you share with us?
I got some active viewers.
We need some love and some
We're
wisdom
good.
too. So what is your advice?
Exactly.
What can we talk about next time? Let me know.
Yeah.
Even if it's about making a quick decision, maybe somebody has children in the plan or whatever, they can still give a little bit of insight on what they may feel like. Because I know some people look at their pets as children, and they both have pets and things like that. I'm just saying, I know we're not calling your kids pets, but it's something that you have a commitment to before being with one another. And so if that's something you may want to talk about, and I can answer some of that too, because I've gone into a relationship with a kid.
With kids,
so if that's something we can talk about later.
I agree.
And things like that. So, okay, you guys. So, thank you to Kris and Lexi, or Lexi Pooh and Kris, because you gotta know Lexi Pooh. I remember Lexi all the time. But thank you guys for being a part of our family dynamics and things like that. We enjoy sharing things with you guys because we want to see everybody win. I would love to know so many more relationships are successful, and let's kill that statistic, right, of all of this stuff. Let's just get rid of that by just being good to yourself and to the next person. Being completely honest with yourself and the next person. So anyway, thank you guys so much for being a part of this with us. And today is Sunday. Have a good rest of the day. I think we're still in Sunday.
Yes.
Thank you guys so much. Remember to turn your little boom boomy on. What's the thingy? The notification. Thank you so much, you guys. And remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye, you guys. Bye. Peace.